Hey everybody, Michael Boyle here with Craft Boats. Today we're going to be walking through our pontoon automation process. Starting over here with our nose cones, we get our flat sheet in. It's laser cut, everything is indexed and nice, perfect edges and super consistent parts. Once we've got our flat sheet in, we walk over here and we'll hand roll each individual one. This roller is set up specifically for nose cones, so the process stays very much in control. Now that we have the general shape of the nose cone, we can walk over into the automated cells and I can show you a little bit about that. So here at Smoker Craft, we've been producing robotic or automated nose cones for about 3 years. We've got tens of thousands of nose cones under our belt at this point. Once that nose cone is somewhat in the shape of a nose cone, we can come over here and put it in what we call the scorpion. From here, you slide the nose cone in and you go through a sequence of about 24 to 28 steps. All the automated clamps will come in and form that nose cone. Once that nose cone is pushed together and those seams are nice and tight, we'll have our robotic welder come down and it will tack that cone in position. So that holds its shape until the next operation over on the other side. Over here on the other side, this is op 20. What we're doing here is we're putting on all the components. So our keel, our bow eye, splash fins, things like that nature. Basically, the robotic arm will come down once the operator's secured everything in place. We have an optical seam tracker which will follow that nose cone keel perfectly down the whole entire perimeter of the nose cone, giving us a nice consistent weld. Every nose cone that we put in here is a little bit different due to the nature of aluminum. So having that optical seam tracker, basically it's like programming the robot for every single part. So for the rest of the pontoon process, we start with raw material coming in. So we've got flat sheet cut to various lengths and sizes. The very first step is going to be for our operators to make sure that that material is in spec. Once we know that it is in spec, it'll come over here onto our 4-roll CNC roller. This guy ensures that we get a nice perfect round roll, which is critical for the rest of the process. Once we've got the tube sheet rolled, it'll come over here onto our water-cooled mandrel seamer. So this guy is a semi-automated process where the operator loads the tube onto the mandrel here and then lines up the welding torch and hits go. Once the operator hits go, the welding torch will come along, weld the whole entire length of that seam in one pass. The next step of the process is going to be our baffle and end cap station. So from here, the operator is going to be loading in baffles and end caps. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's a little bit of a trick here, but our operators do a great job loading everything in. One of the important functions that differentiates this process from our manual line is, if you notice on the end cap and baffle, we have a bead here. So this bead ensures that we've got a nice tight fit between tube sections. So when we're welding our circumference on the robots, we've got no air gap and the gap is set at a consistent distance apart from one another. So now we enter the big cells. So here are our tube cells. This is where all those components that we previously talked about get mated together and loosely tacked. Our operators will load the tube sections onto our alignment tables. These fixture everything to make sure everything's concentric and aligned. You don't want anything to be in the shape of a banana. So this is what makes sure that our tubes are nice and straight and perfectly parallel. So this is where all the magic happens. This is the fun stuff. So on each side of me here, we have 2 mirrored cells. So they're identical in what they can run, about 120 different variations of pontoon. So once that tube rolls into here, the operator will go ahead and attach the tube to the front. They'll select the program, and from there, the robots take off and start welding it. So they'll weld the circumference first, and then based on the recipe, the riser bridge will slide in. They'll drop all the risers on it, and all 3 robots take off, welding all those risers on at the same time.